Today the Bookworms are going to be reading Cinderella. Cinderella lived in her mean stepmother's house with her two wicked and ugly stepsisters, who treated her like a common servant. But in spite of her problems, she was always able to smile and laugh with her friends, the animals, who loved her dearly. Nearby in the royal palace, the king and the Grand Duke were discussing the young prince. "We must get the boy interested in finding a wife," said the king. "Why not hold a ball and invite all the unmarried young women in the kingdom?" suggested his advisor. Messengers were promptly sent out with invitations for every household. Cinderella's stepsisters listened with glee as their mother read the invitation aloud. But to Cinderella she said harshly, "Get on with your work. Girls, stop dawdling." Cinderella didn't even feel hurt, now that she could dream about going to the royal ball. But what would she wear? She needn't have worried, because her faithful animal friends were secretly making her a gown. The mice were such clever little workers that they managed to collect materials and trimmings from all over the house. They did most of the pinning and sewing while the birds helped measure and tied the bows. In almost no time, they had made a delightful gown for Cinderella to wear to the ball. Meanwhile, night had fallen, and Cinderella was looking sadly out the window toward the palace, which was all lit up for the great event. She was very disappointed by the thought that she couldn't go to the ball because she had nothing to wear. Imagine Cinderella's joy when she went upstairs to her lonely attic room to find the beautiful dress that the animals had made for her. "Thank you so much!" she cried with delight. There was no time to lose, so she got dressed quickly and rushed downstairs to join her stepmother and stepsisters. When Cinderella got downstairs, though, her jealous stepsisters began grabbing and tearing at her dress until it was in tatters. Then they went off to the ball without even a goodbye. Cinderella began to cry because she wanted so much to go to the ball. Moments later, her fairy godmother appeared. With a wave of her magic wand, the kind fairy transformed a pumpkin into a coach and 4 of the mice into 4 fine horses. She turned Cinderella's horse into a coachman and her dog Bruno into a footman. When her fairy godmother waved her wand again, Cinderella was dressed in satin finery and glass slippers. But before she left, her godmother warned her, "You must return before midnight. The spell ends then." The prince welcomed all his guests, including Cinderella's stepsisters, but nobody attracted his interest until Cinderella arrived. Then he seemed dazed by her beauty. They danced together all evening, and everyone wondered who the beautiful stranger could be. Cinderella was very happy, but she couldn't help being sorry that the evening wouldn't last forever. Before midnight, she would have to leave her prince and his palace for his miserable life with her stepmother. Just before midnight, Cinderella told the prince that she must say goodbye. He begged her, "Please tell me where I can find you." Cinderella ran away from the prince quickly, as she knew it was the only way, and in her hurry she lost one of her glass slippers on the stairs. There was no time to stop and pick it up, because she could hear the voice of the Grand Duke not far behind, crying, "Madame, please wait! The king himself wishes to speak to you!" But Cinderella did not dare to stay. The minutes were flying, and before long the spell would be broken. In no time at all, Cinderella was speeding away from the palace in her beautiful coach. The distant sound of horses' hoofs could be heard on the palace guards gave chase. On the last stroke of midnight, she found herself sitting on the ground in her usual rags, but still wearing the single glass slipper, surrounded by Bruno, the mice, and her horse. The fairy godmother's spell had ended. The following day, the Grand Duke took the glass slipper to all the houses in the kingdom with the following message: "She whose foot this slipper fits shall be the prince's bride." When the Duke arrived at Cinderella's home, her wicked stepmother locked her in her attic room, saying, "You have no business coming downstairs, Cinderella. You will stay in your room until I unlock the door." The ugly stepsisters felt sure that this was to be their big chance. "Push harder, you fool! one of them yelled, as the king's messenger tried in vain to get the delicate little slipper onto her large foot. Upstairs, Cinderella's friends, the mice, were struggling to sneak the key to her room. The key was larger than they were, and it had to be handed from Gus to Jack one step at a time. Suddenly, Lucifer the cat appeared, and the two mice were frightened, but Bruno arrived just in time and sent the mean little Lucifer flying. The Grand Duke and the king's messenger were about to leave the house when Cinderella came running down the stairs, crying, "Wait! Do not leave! Let me try!" In his surprise at her sudden arrival, the messenger jumped and the glass slipper fell from the pillow on which he carried it and smashed into 1,000 pieces. "Oh dear! What on earth shall we tell the prince?" the Grand Duke exclaimed. Then Cinderella brought out the other glass slipper as she had been hiding, and to the joy of the Grand Duke and the horror of her stepmother and stepsisters, she showed them how perfectly it fitted her dainty little foot. "This is clearly the woman who will be the prince's bride," proclaimed the Grand Duke. It wasn't long before Cinderella was reunited with the prince as the bride-to-be. There was a huge celebration at the palace in honor of the royal couple, and everyone in the kingdom was invited to the wedding. The prince and a radiantly happy Cinderella were married, to the delight of all concerned, and they lived happily ever after. That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more read-alongs. Until next time, bye!